Welcome to the Bite Size Storytelling Show, brought to you by Comaful.com, where we bring you techniques, advice, and stories that will help you on your writing journey. Without further ado, please give a warm welcome to our special guest.
Hi, my name's Lynn Stagletter. I'm an author of science fiction, Christian science fiction, YA, fantasy, and action adventure. I'd like to share a few experiences on my quest to become an author. If your aim is to develop into a published author, there's one thing you'll never avoid, and that being rejection. When I began, my plan was to submit a short stories to magazines. I knew this would be easier than attempting to publish an entire novel. In this way, I would have several publishing credits already under my belt, making me appear as a more viable risk to a publisher or agent, whichever I decided to pursue when the time came to submit a manuscript for my first novel. I would query each magazine through the website and receive their reply in my email. Each reply or rejection I received, I would pin to a corkboard. I did this for some time and amassed a good amount of celluloid. So much, in fact, I could have started and maintained my own paper drive. One thing I learned from each reply I received is they were not interested in publishing my short story. Occasionally their reply would come with a reason as to why the rejection. I could glean valuable information from said reply in the form of 2 words: constructive criticism. Once I took anything of value from these rejections, I would let them slide off my back. If you dwell on the negative or take these rejections personally, it will bury you. Something that is essential to your writing is editing, and I mean stellar editing. I checked into professional editors and found the price can run as high as $60 a page. Some of my manuscripts, being written in double space, as required by most publishers, run 400 pages or more. That amounts to $2,400 just to edit the manuscript. Another way to go is to use a program such as Grammarly to edit your work. I've used it before, and it does a pretty good job. The problem I have is you're taking a machine, for lack of a better word, and are editing something written by a human being. The program lacks emotion and the general feel you get from another human editing your work. What I found useful, and I think you will also, it will also serve you well, if you can find someone who has attended college, majored in English, received a degree, and possibly the master's, that are willing to work with you, then you have found a gold mine. Not only will they correct your grammar, but are also a new set of eyeballs on your manuscript. This allows them to make corrections as far as continuity, contextual problems, and advise you on parts of your manuscript that do not belong. That's right, I said do not belong. This is where you need to extract your eyeballs, remove your subjective lenses, and replace with your objective lenses. As much as you hate to hear it, there will be more than likely places that just do not fit or detract from the story. Occasionally, and I mean very seldom, your editor will be mistaken. But remember, you have an editor for a reason, and that is to make your work better. So don't cut your nose off to spite your face and leave something in your manuscript that should not be there. If it's garbage, then it needs to go in the garbage. When I set out to write my first novel, I was a bit unsure of myself. I'd been used to writing short stories, boom, 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 and your story is complete. With a novel, you begin one day, continue the next, and the next, and the next, and so forth and so on until finished. Once I reached the third or fourth chapter, I knew I had it under control. 4 months later, my first manuscript was done. Then, with the help of my wife, a school teacher, several friends, and 8 or more months of edits and rewrites, I had a manuscript that I felt was ready to publish. Okay, here we have a complete manuscript. Fade out. Undetermined amount of time. Then we fade back in. I have a publisher. For the better part of a year, more edits, artwork, back matter, interior design. Finally, I hold in my hand a book. Wow, it has a title that looks familiar. Wow, it's got a picture on the cover that I've seen before. Wow, there's a name on the bottom. I've seen that name on my driver's license. Wow, I flipped the book over and I see a teaser. I read it and it makes me want to read this book. Wow, there is a paragraph that tells me what the book is about. I know that story. Wow, I see a picture. Wow, I've seen that picture on my driver's license. Wow, I opened the book. I don't know what an acknowledgement is, but I know the people who are being acknowledged. Wow, I know the person being dedicated. Wow, I look through the book and I see tens of thousands of words. And I know these words. Wow, and now I'm sure I want to read this book because it's my book. Wow, 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 wow. The next day after my wow release date, I look at my novel minus the rose-colored glasses. I realized there were 800 titles released, along with mine that same day. How will I get the amount of eyes I need to read my book, vying against such competition? Then I come to the understanding that in actuality, there were 4,500 titles released along with my novel. I ponder on this a moment and decide to reduce my competition by 5,300 titles and add in my own number. I come to the conclusion that there were a lot of books released the same day as mine. How do I attract people to read my offering? The answer: market, 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 and then market some more. You most certainly have another manuscript in the works by now, so in your spare time, write. And of course, take a little time to read. Now perform this same scenario every day for the rest of your writing life, and you'll have it made. I hope you have enjoyed listening to me speak, half the amount I've enjoyed speaking to you. I wish I could say I blessed you with my pearls of wisdom. That wouldn't work. What I can say is I have imparted to you what was driven into my brain over the past 15 years. Please visit my website at www.lynstagletter.com. You'll learn a little more about me and my 4 published books, with one in the works to be released later this year. I wish you all the best in your writing endeavors. Take good care, and may God bless.
If you found this interesting, be sure to like, subscribe, and give a special thanks to our volunteer instructor. Reviews and likes really go a long way and help us provide more awesome writing resources to the Comaful community. If you aren't on Comaful yet, you can join a community of poets, short story authors, and fan fiction writers on Comaful.com.